It's the radio guy, Mike Prince. Welcome back to the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. I have on the line with me, he is definitely not a stranger, a friend of the program, none other than Coach Van Pettaway. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing great. It's a great day to be in God's world.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Whether you think you're having a good day or a bad day, just keep on waking up and you just make the most count and count the most opportunity you have left.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we kind of figured that it didn't really matter how things went last week because we were tit for tat right down the road. Even though we missed big on the SEC deal, what about Ole Miss flopping out on us, man?
Wow, I didn't see that, and not very many people saw that coming.
Yes, sir.
Auburn had a great game plan, and they were able to take care of them. But then in the SWAC, we also didn't see, at least I didn't see Alcorn going down.
No, but what a favor that was for my beloved Panthers. Now, we, being Prairie View, have to take care of business. We're going to be dealing with a walking wounded in the likes of Alabama State for homecoming. Of course, the news of the week was Ely was released of his duties after coming up short to your Bulldogs, man.
Right. Well, that Magic City Classic is one of the games that football coaches between both universities, they know that our fans and alumni, that's the game that they want. That's the game that they target every year. So with him going 0-4 in that game, his days were numbered. And I hate to see that because, number one, it's a coach, and he and Coach Maynard are good friends. So,
yes, sir.
You win a game like that, and then that game means that your friend loses his job. But from what I understand, Coach Maynard has already talked to Coach Ely. They talked on Monday morning before the media day started.
Well, just like Coach Maynard reached out to another former Alabama State coach in the name of Brian Jenkins and offered him a position on the staff until some personal issues had to force Jenkins out. Do you see that possibly being an extension for Coach Ely at Bulldog Country?
Well, I'm not sure if Coach Maynard has an opening, but I'm quite sure if there is an opening on his staff, he would bring his friend into the fold, keep him in the business. But that's what we do as coaches. We look out for each other. The war only happens when we go on that field or on that court. Once it's over with, we all brothers. We were fighting for the same cause, and that's to elevate and uplift these student athletes.
Yes, sir. And that is a close-knit, fine line between either us or them. And the opportunity to produce wins never fails, whether it's a friend or a foe. So we'll keep a close eye on the development of that. Meanwhile, with the results that happen on the field, with Southern pulling the upset, we did call it an upset over Alcorn, it has set the table for the Panthers to possibly make a strong run, but they have to take care of first things first, and that's these Hornets on this weekend, which will be our pick later on. But speaking with Coach Dooley, things are riding high. Confidence level is up, and the expectations have grown even greater now with the situation being the way that it is.
Right, and then also Coach Dooley mentioned the fact that he really didn't want another bye week. He wanted to play, and I could see his concerns because, his team was performing well, and when you're playing well, you want to continue playing. So,
yes, sir.
Having another off week, we'll just see how the Panthers take it. But with homecoming coming up, I know those guys will be ready to play.
Yeah, they'll be ready to play. Now, I do have somewhat of a concern, Coach. There are 4 games remaining, of course, with this one coming up against Alabama State. You then have Alcorn. Then you have Texas A&M before you play Mississippi Valley. Playing Texas A&M so late in the season, I see this as more detrimental than complimentary because of the fact you don't want to risk any unnecessary injuries this time of the year, knowing what all is at stake. You got a championship and possibly a celebration bowl on the line. And if you had to put your coach's hat on right now, my theory is this. You put your guys in for a series or two so they can get the experience of playing against a Power Five in the nostalgic Kyle Stadium. But I'm not really gung-ho of playing my starters from beginning to end in that particular game.
I agree with you. That would definitely be my mindset. If I had that headset on, I would get my guys just to get to keep them in rhythm, put them out there for a series or two. Then I would shut it down. I would see what I got left on my bench. I would play the rest of the guys to give them some game experience. But I would want my horses ready to complete this run, and with championship aspirations in sight. That's where my focus would be, not in a non-conference game. Even though I know it's a necessity because this is one of those guaranteed games where we're helping the bottom line of the athletic department's budget. But I would also be looking at, I need to keep my people safe so I can continue this grind so I can win this championship.
Yes, sir, because like we say, in reality, and it's no knock on the Prairie View program, we know the chances of them beating Texas A&M are virtually slim to none. So, like you said, no sense of putting the kids in harm's way.
Right, this is a business decision, yep.
Yes, sir, absolutely a business and a bottom line business decision. Well, Coach, with all that being said, it's time for us to move into these picks. You know, with us staying neck and neck, sir, unfortunately, we're running out of weeks, and you're still down by a couple of games, Coach, so you're going to have to make a big boss time move come up real soon, Coach. In basketball terms, baby, we're under a minute left, and you're down by 10. You can only foul me so much.
I know, but with the three-point shot out there, you can always win a
game. Yes, sir. I like that quick comeback, sir. Let's round them up from the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
Okay, the first up, we got Howard and South Carolina State. This game will be played in Orangeburg.
Yes, sir. South Carolina State all the way, sir.
Right. Well, I'm sorry. I'll back up. Delaware State and Morgan State, they start the week off. They have this Thursday night contest.
That's right.
Is at Morgan State first up this Thursday. So how do you see that one?
Well, I see Delaware State winning that one, sir.
Right. I have Delaware State, and I also got South Carolina State. And then the last game for the MEAC is our old buddy Coach Odoms is going down to North Carolina Central, Norfolk State at North Carolina Central.
Hey, I'm riding with the Spartans all the way, sir. I love what Odoms brings to the table. I love the work that he had left behind at Southern, and they might not want to admit it in Baton Rouge, but they're definitely missing Odoms' presence and how he handled that team and how he prepared that team more off the field than on the field. And like you say, the pride probably won't let them admit it, but they're definitely missing the presence of an Odoms in Baton Rouge.
Well, I agree with that. The only game that they may have said that Odom may not have won, he has that booger bear when it comes to Alcorn, and with them beating Alcorn this weekend, some of the people might be saying, well, who needs Odom? But I agree. I think Norfolk State will win this one.
In that same breath, Coach, I just can't see an Odom coach Southern Jaguar team losing to both Texas Southern and Prairie View in the same year.
That's true. That is true.
Just, yeah. So I maybe one or the other, but not both of them. So they say 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. The fact is he's gone. He's in first place in the MEAC, and it is what it is.
Oh, yes. Now, on to the SWAC. First game up, we got Alcorn State going all the way over to Daytona Beach. Take on Bethune-Cookman.
Well, at the beginning of the season, I would have really been intrigued with this game. The only possible interest is, can the Wildcats continue to show up on 4 flats with these games that they have remaining? And they might not show up with 4 flats, but they're going to have enough flats where they won't have enough to beat Alcorn this week. I'm rolling with the Braves, sir.
Right. I got the Braves in that game also. Well, here's a chance for you to go against the grain. Mississippi Valley State will be visiting Alabama A&M.
I like what Valley has been doing. I'm kind of a dark horse Valley guy.
Yep.
But you got to really like the position that the Bulldogs are in. A strong performance in the Magic City Classic. And I think Maynard still has enough Ric Flair in him that there might be enough in the tank for the Bulldogs to fight off the Delta Devils. Once again, another close contest, but the Delta Devils come up short this weekend.
Right. Well, I'm not going to go against my Bulldogs, so I have.
Oh, I know it, Coach, and I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for that. Like you just don't know.
Yep. So I'm with the Bulldogs also. Well, next up, this will be an intriguing matchup. Texas Southern and their star quarterback Bodie going up against the other freshman quarterback in the league, Sajur Jackson, down at Jackson State. I'll see you on this one.
I see you that Body and Texas Southern. Let me just put it like this. Body will outperform Sanders, but Jackson State will win the game.
I agree also. I think
yes,
Jackson
sir.
State playing at home will win this one also.
Yes, sir.
Well, here's one that's up for grabs. Grambling State will be at Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Ain't nothing up for grabs for that, Coach. Not at all.
So we both have the G-men?
Yeah, the G-men all the way in this one. I am somewhat, if there's another disappointing team this year, it has to be Pine Bluff.
I agree. They started me on this losing skid, so I'm off the Pine Bluff wagon. I'm off of the Pine Bluff wagon.
Don't take it personal, Coach. Don't take it personal. But it really and truly, they had enough weapons, I thought, coming back. I know they did lose their big-time receiver who had transferred from Missouri, but it's just like, wow, was the spring that much of a delusional season, for the Bulldogs and for the Golden Lions? But what the Golden Lions have done, they've been like a meteor falling out of the sky.
Right. Well, in defense of the Bulldogs, I personally know that their problem was injuries. They had too many key people hurt during the losing streak, and the off week gave them an opportunity to get some people back on the field, particularly the Holloway brothers.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, I don't see the Golden Lions pulling this one out at all, sir.
Right. Next up, we got your Prairie View Panthers hosting Alabama State with Coach Pearson at the helm this time. The defensive coordinator was taking over as the interim coach, and I don't think I even had to ask you about this one.
No, sir, but I'll sing it out for you. Who you rooting for? P-V-U. And that's who I'm rooting for, sir. And now, this is still, to me, a potential trap game. And we don't need to be looking ahead, because after this week will be the showdown of showdowns for the Western Division, the Alcorn State Braves. But you can't look past the Hornets. They're going to be playing some inspired football with an interim coach coming out of the gate on fire. So you have to really and truly put them out of their miseries fast, put them out of their miseries often, and make this a no doubt. We wish you well, Alabama State, but don't come in here half-stepping when you come to Hill Country.
Right, and I agree. I think Prairie View will be too strong for Alabama State. I think PB has too much at stake, and then listen to Coach this week on the media session. The week off was not something that he really wanted, but they could use the rest. They did play a game, he said. They played against each other last Saturday.
Yes, sir. Yes,
right.
sir.
But so things are looking up, and I'm with you on this one, PV all the way. Now, very intriguing matchup. Florida A&M will be down at Southern University in Baton Rouge. How do you see that?
I think this is going to be a classic game, and it's been one of the most intriguing HBCU matchups throughout history of HBCU football. And I really and truly, it's not anything personal. I just think Coach Rollins might be in deep over his head. And I really believe there are four aspects to a football game, Coach. We always talk about offense, defense, special teams, but I think coaching is also an element that gets overlooked. And when you look at it tit for tat, I think FAMU has enough in all aspects to pull this game out on the road in hostile territory.
I agree. FAMU is probably playing better than any team in the SWAC. Since
Yes,
they
sir.
lost to Jackson State, they have really put together quite a winning streak. So I agree with you. Once again, we have gone down the list and we're tip for tat again. And that
Yes,
leads
sir.
us up to the SEC. This week's game, Arkansas versus Mississippi State. With Mississippi State coming off that upset of Kentucky last week. How do you see this one?
I see this one as a great potential game, but I think Arkansas will have enough to beat out Mississippi State. It's almost like night and day. Of course, the air raid attack that Mississippi State has been known for has somewhat been split 50-50 with a run and pass attack, a balanced attack. But I think in the case of the Razorbacks and the Bulldogs doing battle, they might go back to their more comfortable style of flinging that thing up in the air, and that might come back and bite them.
Yep. Well, I agree. I'm with Arkansas on this one. So, once again, second straight week, we're tip for tap.
Uh-oh, Coach. Uh-oh. I don't know what to tell you, but I can tell you this. Basketball season right around the corner.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We've already started taking notes and talking to people about basketball.
Yes, sir.
And to expound on that this past Saturday.
Yes, sir. And with that being said, I know that you were real strong on FAMU's basketball season coming up. You didn't like them being picked, I believe it was number 6 out of the coaches' poll. Were there any other programs that were striking your curiosity at this start of the season?
Right. I thought that the coaches, with Bethune-Cookman's women, with the success they've had over the last couple of years and with a lot of those kids back, I thought they were picked too low in the preseason polls by the prognosticators. But I think that Texas Southern and Prairie View on the men's side are 1-2. I think they're right there together. I also thought that, like you said, I thought Southern men were picked too low. But it's going to be an interesting season. Jackson State is going to always be strong on the men's side because of Coach Brent and his emphasis on the defensive side of the court. So they'll always be in the mix. And then on the women's side, where they picked Jackson State to win it, I think that was the right pick. But they better be cautious of those Lady Bulldogs. I think Coach Richards has a group of young ladies, and if they all show up and play this year, she lost 5 key players last year because they didn't want to play because of the COVID. And they still finished strong. So with a full roster, I think they better watch out for her.
Well, the watch is definitely going to be on the heel with the Prairie View A&M University Lady Panthers.
Right.
Coach Sandy Pugh going into year number 4. Year number 3 was a disappointment, although there were a lot of COVID concerns on and off the court. As they say, Janet Jackson's famous song, "What Have You Done For Me Lately?"
Right.
And it's going to be evident this season for Coach Pugh. Now, speaking with her off and on throughout the off season, she's excited. She's made a couple of moves. As a matter of fact, got one of her former players coming from Valley to assist her in the coaching circle, and some other coaching changes have been made. Ms. Pruitt has moved on to greener pasture. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the Panthers rebound from what, let's be honest, probably one of the worst and most difficult coaching challenges in Coach Pugh's coaching career.
Right. I think it'll be an interesting year, and I think I told the people on Saturday I didn't think that she'll be at the bottom when it's all said and done. I don't see her having 2 back-to-back subpar years. To me, she and Coach Cooper, they have a drive in them that they transfer to those kids, and I think you'll see both of those programs bounce back from the seasons that they had this past year. The COVID,
yes, sir.
I'm giving everybody a mulligan because of the COVID. COVID created a lot of things that these coaches were not accustomed to.
You're absolutely right about that, and it's something that gave you some coaching experience that you were not looking for, but you can definitely put it in your data bank for future references. and it made a lot of people really check themselves if this is something that they really desire to be doing, because it has raised the coaching expectation levels and concerns as well as challenges to an entire different level.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be very, very interesting. Of course, we'll break that thing down as we get a little bit closer to the tip-off times to where they count. Now, I know when we talk about the non-conference games, we call them preseasons, warm-up games, the first of 3 seasons in basketball, and, the money games, this, that, and the other, but you're still looking for development. You're still looking for growth and cohesiveness on the court. And as you're coaching these non-conference games, Coach, you're looking for the right combinations as well, too, right?
Right. You non-conference. That's where you come up with your rotations. That's where you come up with the games that you allow all these kids to play in, so you can see what you got as a team. But the biggest thing you try to develop, you got to get some confidence going in this preseason, so that when you do hit the conference schedule, that you're ready to roll.
Yes, sir. Ready to roll shall be the case, just like we're ready to roll on through this football season, sir. I know that you're from the state of Alabama, and they say roll tide, but I'm saying roll pride, as in Panther pride, baby.
Yes, sir.
Roll pride, roll pride.
I'm with the pride. I really like what you all are doing out there, and I look forward to be honest, I already see Prairie View and Jackson State in the championship game.
Well, Coach, I've been having visions of gumdrops in my head looking at that game as well. And I'm not trying to count my chickens before they hatch. But here's a question, Coach, and maybe you can help me with some insight on this. If both of these teams went out the rest of their regular season in the conference play, who's determined the home team and they didn't play each other?
Whoa, that's going to be a biggie. That's going to be a biggie. I guess it's going to be based on the only thing they can come up with then would be you can't come up with the conference records, because they better have a nice tiebreak in place that's going to determine that. That's going to be a biggie. Whether that
yes,
game
sir.
played in Texas or in Jackson, Mississippi, that's going to be a big home field advantage for whatever team could get.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's why now, to dispel that, let's just go this year, go to a neutral site. Go to a neutral site.
Well, you know what? I'm with you, but I think, and it was by attrition that we end up having a higher seed host. I like that. I really do like that, because it's rewarding you being the top dog for the regular season, right?
Well, what's your tiebreaker then?
Well, your tiebreaker can be total points scored against a common opponent. That could be a tiebreaker. Or it could be total points in the season scored. You understand? There isn't. I don't want it to revert to a flip of the coin. I do not like that at all. But if you had some
put out there earlier, though, Doc, you know that.
Oh, I know.
It should have been put out there earlier, because there could have been some games where you may have needed to score more points had you known that it was going to come down to this.
Well, the old college football way of doing things anyway was you keep scoring points because you never know. That's how they used to keep the tally back in the day. But who knows? I just don't want it to revert to a flipping of a coin. Yeah, and if they do flip the coin, how about this? We're in a virtuality state of life right now. Make that thing an event and flip the coin by way of Zoom.
Oh, that is true. That's true.
Yes, sir. That way you don't have any questions about any shady business going on. I don't want it to revert to that, but if it must revert to that, there's nothing wrong with getting the camera, and you can get the coaches by way of split screen and have the commissioner flip the coin. Heads, you win. Tails, you lose. And boom, there it is.
And then, or the other thing they could do, they can send a representative from each school to Birmingham, to the SWAC office for the coin flip.
Well, that would cost too much money.
And still put it on for one person?
Yeah, but still cost too much money. Coach, why spend that money when we can do it virtuality? You know, you get your Zoom, You have your person there. You have your person there. You have the commissioner or a SWAC representative from the office get the coin. And I don't know if we have a commemorated SWAC coin or not. You know, we should have had something like that for the 100-year anniversary, but that's another concept and deal. But you get the coin, flip that coin, and do it like that. No foul, no harm, and everybody stays within their place. Save that money because we say we don't have the money for certain things. So if we ain't got money for that, we sure ain't got money to be sending people to the conference office for a 5-minute coin flip, right? And just go ahead and get it out the way. So I'm very intrigued. Coach, I always try to think ahead and just wonder what type of scenarios could be. You're familiar, you might not be familiar with the comedian George Wallace. He says, I be thinking. And I just be thinking every now and then, Coach, about what if this were to be that and vice versa. So very interesting. I'm hoping that you're right, Coach, that it is Jackson and Prairie View for the championship. But we still got 3 SWAC games remaining. And starting with the Hornets this weekend, don't drop the ball. Keep that thing going, and let's drive this joker, whether it be to Jackson, Mississippi, or good old confines of Prairie View A&M University. Let's finish this thing and finish it strong.
If it's between those two schools, no matter where it's being played, it's going to be a doozy.
It's going to be a doozy, and I'm not going to put you on the spot yet, Coach, but I got a feeling I think who you would be leaning toward. We'll let that settle a little bit later on down the road.
The location of the game is going to determine for me. Location of the game will determine that. Yep.
Okay. Well, we shall see, sir. And then, since we're talking about futuristic things, looking more evident that they just might be facing a Dawson Odom-led team from the MEAC.
Yeah. Boy.
What?
That would be a good one, boy.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yep.
Wouldn't that be something? And if that was the case, you're talking about storylines on top of storylines, and what a week that would be. But we still got about a month before that happens, Coach, and meanwhile, we'll keep on doing what we're doing, sir. It's always a joy to have you join us on board, sir, and we'll give you some closing thoughts and comments for this week's segment.
Okay, well, as usual, Dr. Prince, continue the good work that you're doing. Continue to be the voice for the voiceless. And may God continue to bless and hold you in his arms. Thank you for being who you are.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you for the prayers and the well wishes. We had let it be known that we were, as they say, getting some strength back in the old noodles, and things are looking great. All the prayers, the well wishes were definitely appreciated, and as they say, much needed, because you can never have too much prayer. The last time I thought a person had too much prayer, his name was Michael, and he ended up getting kicked out of heaven. Now, I am Michael, but I don't want to get kicked out of heaven, sir. So I appreciate you more than you would ever imagine. He is the guru, the godfather, the basketball analyst / football pick'em. He was a bully, so we didn't balance that out a little bit, y'all. Coach Van Pettaway, it is always a joy to meet with you. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you so much for joining us on the Brazos Valley Schools Credit Union Hotline. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.